You told yourself you'd start today. Then, somehow it's tomorrow again. And the day after that. If "I'll do it tomorrow" is basically your life motto. Stay here, because this isn't about laziness. It's about something much stranger happening in your brain. Maybe it's the email you've had open in a tab for 4 days. Maybe it's the workout, the appointment, the conversation you keep rescheduling with yourself. You know exactly what needs to happen. You just don't do it. And then you spend the night being furious at a version of yourself that hasn't even shown up yet. You're not lazy. You're not undisciplined. There's a real reason this keeps happening. Psychologists have a name for what's actually going on, and it's not a time management problem, it's an emotion regulation problem. Researcher Tim Peichel found that procrastination isn't about poor planning, and it's definitely not about not caring. It's about avoiding the uncomfortable feeling. A task brings up boredom, anxiety, self-doubt, even shame by chasing something that feels better right now. Your brain isn't lazy. It's just really good at short-term relief and terrible at weighing long-term cost. Here's the part that explains everything, though. Brain imaging research by psychologist Hal Hershfield found something wild. When people think about their future self, their brain activity looks almost identical to when they think about a complete stranger. Not a future version of you, an actual stranger. So when today you skips the task, some part of your brain genuinely doesn't feel responsible for the person who will suffer for it tomorrow. It's not indifference. It's a kind of built-in blind spot. But wait, this pattern usually didn't start with a to-do list. For a lot of people, it started with fear. If you grew up somewhere, mistakes were met with criticism, comparison, or disappointment. Starting a task could quietly start to feel dangerous. Not because the task itself was hard, because starting meant risking being seen as not good enough, not smart enough, not fast enough. So the brain found a workaround. If you never really start, you never really fail, and you never have to feel that specific sting again. Procrastination becomes protection dressed up as laziness. And here's where it gets interesting. This is why just do it advice almost never works. No matter how many times you tell yourself to just push through, you're not fighting a discipline problem. You're fighting a threat response. Your amygdala is treating the blank document, the gym bag, the phone call, like something that needs to be avoided, the same way it would avoid actual danger. And no amount of willpower talks a threat response out of doing its job. Now here's the part that explains everything the same. Future self is a stranger effect also predicts something you'd never expect. Because the more disconnected you feel from your future self, the worse this gets. With money, with health, with deadlines, with basically anything that asks present you to sacrifice for future you. Studies on procrastination link it with higher stress, higher anxiety, weaker sleep, and even lower self-esteem over time. Not because people don't care, but because every delayed task becomes one more piece of evidence used against them. If you're sitting there thinking about every "I'll start Monday" that turned into 3 Mondays, I want you to hear this. You didn't fail at discipline. Your brain built a very effective escape route from discomfort, and it's just doing its job a little too well. You're not broken. You're not incapable. You're someone whose brain is trying to protect you from a feeling, not from the task itself. And here's the actual fix, backed by research self-compassion, not self-punishment, is what reduces procrastination. People who forgive themselves for procrastinating are less likely to procrastinate again. Guilt keeps you stuck. Kindness moves you forward. So next time you catch yourself about to say, "I'll do it tomorrow," don't fight yourself. Just make friends with future you. Picture them clearly. Do one small piece of the task now, just for them. That's it. That's the whole trick. And if this explained more than you expected, you need to see what happens when this same avoidance shows up in your relationships. Not just your to-do list, because that one connects to everything you just heard. Watch that next.